Hey, what's up? It's Comic95, the Savior, and for this video, I want to give you guys some real advice, telling you what you should do if you come across a situation in which you are as broke as a joke, you can't afford to pay your rent, and more importantly, you don't have food and water to survive here in Japan. As I've shared with you guys before several times in the past without going into a lot of detail, but enough for you to understand my circumstances, I have personally been through everything here. I have had my electricity and my water turned off for weeks. I have literally lived out of the bathroom stall at a mall. I've had a really crazy life here in Japan. And I'm speaking from experience, so while it might sound like, oh, that's common sense, I already knew that, I'm telling you what I legitimately did and how to save yourself. So before I get into the tips on, what you should do or what I personally did per se, I want to start off with some common sense advice that you're going to ignore. And if you're watching this video, either you're trying to be smart and protect yourself, think ahead, and be prepared for what to do, or if you're unfortunate, maybe you're already too late in this situation. So, first things first, you shouldn't be coming to Japan if you don't have an ample amount of savings already put together. Anything can happen. You can lose your job, there can be a fire, some type of crazy emergency, life happens. I came to Japan with a year's salary, and less than a year later, I was broke and eating chips. And when I say chips, I mean like 2 chips for an entire day. That was my food. That and water from out of the sink. So yeah, you really need to have a savings put together. And you need to be mature and understand how to budget. And if you can't trust yourself to do it, you really need to find someone that you can trust to hold on to your money, preferably a family member, not your boyfriend. Don't be stupid. You don't want someone to run off with your money, belongings, valuables, whatever. Secondly, you really need to establish good emergency contacts, whether that be your friends, family, grandma, grandpa, whoever, a neighbor, someone that you can call and trust and don't mind sharing your business with, putting your pride aside, that can help you, pull you out of a jam, get you out of a pinch, whatever the word is you want to use, that will pretty much save your life. I understand that a lot of you guys have pride. I did too. You're an adult. You don't want to call and ask for help, but you really do need to have these people in advance. You don't want to wait until you're already in a situation where you have no money, you have no food, you're already late on your rent. You want people that you can call and ask for help. And it's a lot better and easier if you've already had an ongoing, established relationship with people versus calling people out of the blue, just using them to pay your rent. They're going to be less willing and likely to want to help you. And last but not least, you really want to make sure that you make friends. Not just foreign friends, but Japanese friends too. You need a combination of the two of them. Having friends here can be a total lifesaver. It's just like having those extra emergency contacts. You have more people that you can go to for money, for advice, for help, for shelter, for food, for water, etc. versus being on your own and struggling here on your own. So, now that we've gotten those things out of the way, let's talk about what you need to do if you have nothing or you're on, the brim, the edge, whatever. I'm not good with these terminologies, you guys. Terms. See, look, even that I'm messing up. If you are pretty much poor and you feel like you're dying, starving, thirsty, can't pay your bills, your stuff has been turned off like how mine has, which that was a nightmare, might I add. You have bill collectors knocking on your door, your neighbors are hearing what's going on, the police is being called on you. Yeah, that was me. It's really embarrassing to share, but it's true. So, let's get to it. The very first thing that you need to do is talk to these people. I know it seems like it's a total waste of time, but to be totally honest, the last thing you want to do is ignore people who you owe money. One part of you might feel good and be like, oh, well, as long as they don't know, or as long as I don't talk to them, they'll think I just didn't know I had these bills, or my landlord would think I didn't know that the rent was due. But to be totally honest, you not speaking to them and not being upfront and honest about what's going on will just further frustrate them. As a foreigner, unfortunately, people already have stereotypes about you not paying your bills, not paying your rent, etc. So by you not paying it for a legitimate reason, maybe you got fired, maybe you can't find a job, maybe your loans didn't come through, maybe your parents stopped supporting you, whatever the case might be, you telling them what's going on and giving them a game plan that they can work with, even if they are upset, they will be a lot less angry if you let them know as soon as possible. It doesn't matter if you've already gone 3 months. Tell them now what's going on, and don't just tell them, oh, sorry, I got fired, I can't pay my rent. Give them a plan. I'm sorry, I was fired, I was laid off, whatever. I'm currently searching for a job. I'll pay you as soon as possible. My first paycheck. Try to give them dates, but also try to be realistic. Don't make promises that you cannot keep. For example, don't say that I'm going to pay 6 months of back rent when you know your first paycheck is only going to be able to afford 1 or 2 months. Be realistic. Trust me, your landlord would rather have some money than no money. Even if they are angry, understandably, they would rather get something than nothing. It's going to cost them a lot more and take a lot longer for them to sue you and take you through court. Don't believe any of the crazy crap they might tell you about how they're going to cancel your visa, report you to the government, blah, 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 the police. They can't do anything about that. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. I've been there, done that more than once. So, yeah. The second thing that you want to do is make looking for a job your full-time job. If you don't have any money, you need to get real with yourself and simply find a job. I know it's easier said than done, especially if you are someone that is not a native English speaker, but trust me, the more time that you spend crying and plotting your death and suicide and writing your will, I did it all, guys. I know, I'm not even joking, like, it's sad, I'm being honest. So the more time you spend freaking out over it, the less time you're spending looking for a job. Crying and, boo-hooing about it and thinking about what you would have, should have, could have done instead of buying that PlayStation 4 and buying all of those unnecessary games to impress guys you never ended up actually marrying and all that type of good stuff. Doing all of that is not going to help you. What's said, done, what's been purchased, it's already the past. Get over it. You've already eaten that yakiniku. It doesn't matter at this point. Your goal is to get money in your pocket now. And preferably, we're going to try to keep everything clean and safe and do it the legal way. And with that said, what you really need to and or want to work on is getting a job. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. A lot of people looking for jobs in this situation don't have a degree, which is probably why you're freaked out so much right now, and or you're not a native English speaker. Thus, you really have a much smaller pool of jobs you can look into. You're probably in a situation where you're so poor, so desperate, whatever, that you actually would take a flight home, but you can't even afford a flight back home. This is why you need to lower your standards for your job search. Accept anything. Anyone that will hire you, take the job. You are desperate. It does not matter if the job is significantly underpaying you. It doesn't matter if they're overworking you. You need to work. Do you want to die, or do you want to work for, work a lot more than what you're being paid for, so to speak? With that said, yes, I know that, language school is cheating you, that Eikaiwa, they're only paying you $10 an hour, and you know they should be paying you at least $20. I totally understand. But you need money. Don't forget to sign up for every teaching site that you can find. FindStudents.net, Hello Sensei, Enjoy Lesson, all of them. Sign up for every single last one. Scour the listings on Craigslist. Go through all of them. Make a generic resume. You can use Google Docs from your email. Literally send that to every single last employer that you see listed on there. And I promise you someone will get back to you. I promise you. But again, you have to make this your full-time job. Check the listings every single day. Be proactive. Make phone calls. While you're waiting to get calls back, practice and, freshen up on your Japanese. Try to improve on your, listening skills. Listen and watch the news. Pick up the little, job magazines that you see around at the train station. Talk to your friends. Don't be afraid to go to your embassy. Ask for help. Ask for help. You cannot be afraid to ask for help. A lot of the times when you find yourself in situations like this, you could have easily avoided it if you put your pride aside and was actually willing to ask people for help. People oftentimes try to pretend like they don't want to, inconvenience anyone or whatever. But when you really look at it, at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to being a mixture of both you not wanting to inconvenience other people and you having too much pride to ask for help. I personally found myself having to crawl back to my family and having to ask to borrow money from them and or get money. And I've honestly received thousands over a period of time that has saved me. My boyfriend actually got me out of Sakura House, and I didn't really ask him for it, but he knew how bad my situation was, and he insisted that I took money from him, even though I turned it down for months. He was like, no, you need to leave, and he literally paid everything, all of my move-in fees, and moved me into a nice apartment in Nerima, which I believe I took a video of and showed you guys either on YouTube or on Instagram, maybe both. But yeah, long story short, don't be afraid to ask your friends and your family for help, and let them know how bad your situation is. Stop, putting your pride in the way, letting your pride get in the way, and pretending like everything's fine and you don't need help, etc. Like, just get real, be real with yourself. You need money, you need help, you need food, you need water. Your bills do need to be paid. Aside from that, I forgot what number we're on. We're on number 3, 4, whatever. Let's forget about numbers at this point. The next thing that you need to do is, if you are in a situation where you can't get help from anyone and you have everything out there, and let's say that you have a few students now, you need to budget your money and start eating and living in a frugal way. That means walking to more places, trying to get your students to be willing to meet near you. If that means offering them a discounted rate for the lesson, even if that means going down to 10 or 800 yen, not 10 yen, but when I say 10 I mean 1,000 yen. It's a total crime. Yes, you're cheating yourself, but again, your goal is to get students now. You cannot go through the whole what I'm worth type thing. You're not selling your body, you're not killing yourself, and to be honest, a lot of you would only be making $8 or $9, flipping burgers at McDonald's anyway. So again, don't let your ego, whatever, get to you. Your goal is to get food on the table, in your stomach, and have water to drink, and a roof over your head. You need to do anything that you can to get back on your feet. When you do get this money, you want to use as little of it as possible riding the train. Was that 2-minute train ride really worth that $5 that you just spent, or what you've rather spent, that 500 yen buying yourself a couple of meals for, a few days or whatever? So ration out your money and think about it. You really also want to consider going to the grocery store for some things and convenience store for others. Generally, milk is actually cheaper to buy at the convenience store for some strange reason. I assume because it expires fast and people don't normally want to go there and buy, a whole pint of milk or whatever the case might be. So yeah. Also, don't forget about bread. Bread is very filling, very cheap, only costs about 120 yen, and it will hold you over for a while. You can buy a half dozen of bread, or half loaf of bread. Get 6 pieces for about 100 or 110 yen at select convenience stores. I believe Family Mart has the cheapest bread. And again, this is not about, eating gourmet meals, etc. Your goal is to feed yourself. You need food in your stomach. So bread, curry, cereal, peanut butter and jelly is kind of expensive, but in the long run, it's a cheap meal. It's expensive to get the peanut butter and the jelly when you are truly broke, because that's going to be like 1,000 yen just for those 2 jars. So anyway, your goal is to get meals that stretch, and to keep yourself from pigging out on your food, drink a ton of water and leave your house as much as possible. Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't have your peanut butter and jelly on hand, you don't have a bowl, cereal, milk on hand, you cannot possibly eat the stuff that you have. Thus, yes, not gonna be an issue. You don't have to worry about, oh my god, I only had $5 and I spent it on the peanut butter and now I'm eating it all because I'm sitting on my ass at home. But if you're out getting students, walking around, exercising, just leaving out of your house, going for walks, taking pictures, sitting at the mall, doing anything besides being at home, if that's what will stop you from, depression eating or whatever, like how I do, then go for it. Do it. You need to protect your money and protect your food, because you don't know when you'll get more money or when you'll have more food. If you've contacted your embassy, you can also contact, they'll probably direct you to these places, but there's normally some type of, I can't think of the name of the one here, but there are organizations that actually offer services that can give you, free food or discounted stuff and help you, find a new job, etc. Essentially like a pantry. Find out where your closest one is in your city. Tokyo has them, Osaka has them. Not all small cities do, but the major ones definitely do. And anywhere you are in Japan, you're somewhere near a major city more than likely if you're going through this. So yeah, try your best to get back to a major city and find wherever the closest one is. They normally have English speaking staff, and even if they don't, they're patient with you. They will have someone that can use Google Translate with you. You can use your phone. If you're watching my video, you must have a phone or something. So they can definitely help you out and find a job for you, and or at least try to get you some food. The reality too is, ultimately, if you really cannot find a job after you've been going through this for a couple of months or so, and you really just can't feed yourself, etc., you need to get real, and you need to, get a flight back home. You have to put your pride aside, and as much as you might love Japan or want to stay here, you need to leave and come back when you're more put together. It's not worth it to live in a beautiful country if your whole time here you're going to be starving and near death and miserable. That's not fun for anyone. I'm sorry, making this video and I'm getting all of these notifications all of a sudden. So, long story short, just common sense advice. You're going to need to be frugal. Do whatever you can to get a job. When I was in this situation, I literally applied for every single job I can find, and that's actually how I'm at the job that I'm at right now. Before I was working here, I was dead broke. I had absolutely nothing, and my boss saved my life, and he knows it. And my job was so open and comfortable. I was able to tell them everything that I had been through, from my medical bills to my rent that I owed money for, to all of the crazy legal drama that I got into. And not only were they understanding, they gave me pay advances, which is something else you can ask for. And they walked me through the steps I can take, and they offered me free lawyers and everything, and they gave me raises, and they just treated me so well. And I went through hell before I got this job, but it has definitely been worth every battle, every fight, everything that I went through to work up my way to getting here. And I hope the same thing does and or can happen for you. But again, if it doesn't happen, you need to get real with yourself. Get home. Get a flight home. And if you're wondering, how can I get a flight home? I don't have money. Talk to your embassy. Talk to your family. Trust me, you can find a way home. Japan does not want to have to take care of homeless foreigners. How often do you see a homeless foreigner? Pretty much never. They don't want you on their streets here. But this is also why you need to manage your money better. You didn't come here with nothing. They wouldn't have let you in the country. So the reason why you have nothing, I know you don't want to hear this right now, but it's because you mismanaged your money. You weren't mature with it. You spent more than you had. And I've definitely been there, done that several times. Even after I got myself out of my bad situation in Tokyo, I made that same mistake here in Osaka, in Kyoto, in Kobe, everywhere I've been. So it's okay, we're human, we make mistakes. I'm not judging you, but I am saying that you do have to recognize that you are a part of the problem, if not the entire problem. And you have to make changes. You have to, choose wisely, make different decisions next time to keep yourself from being in the situation. It's one thing to be homeless, poor, starving, whatever, in your home country. It's very scary to have that happen in a foreign country, especially when you are not a native speaker or if you don't speak the language at all. It's very, very frightening. So again, I hope the best for you. I wish the best for you. And if you're ever really, really, really in a horrible situation, you really need help, I would do my best to help you. It might not be financially, but emotionally, physically, whatever I can do for you, I will try my best. And if I can at the time, maybe I will even help you financially. I don't want you to be depending on me. We're not doing that. But again, don't be afraid to ask your friends and your family for help. Put your pride aside, and again, make looking for a job your full-time job. Find frugal ways to eat. You don't need to have 3 meals. Trust me, you'll survive without all 3. You can buy a big thing of water, a big thing of tea. There's so many choices that you have. You go to the grocery store and just look for everything that's under 300 yen. You can find 100, 200 yen things. Normally your students will buy you free food and drinks when you go out for your private lessons. Again, so don't overthink that. And to help you get by in the meantime, you can actually pretty much live at a mall here in Japan. There's normally charging stations in cafeteria areas. You can be ghetto and unplug the super toilet in the bathroom, or some bathrooms actually have charge ports for you to, like plug in, your cell phone or your flat iron, etc. You can charge your devices there. There's normally free Wi-Fi. Of course, you have lights, books, cafeteria, there's normally a grocery store, etc. So you can literally live out of the mall. I was pretty much living out of there. I actually was using the bathroom at the mall to clean myself every single day. I was going to the bathroom to wash up. I'm not kidding you. You want to know what's even more ghetto? I actually relaxed my hair with cold water in a handicapped bathroom at the mall. I'm not playing with you. It's embarrassing, crazy, sad, scary to admit, But I'm being honest, putting my pride aside, putting my business out there. Yep, it's true, you can laugh, whatever, but it happened to me. And yeah, it was really bad and embarrassing. And again, like, this is my story and experience. I didn't have electricity, so I was having to charge up my stuff during the daytime, go home. I was using a flashlight in my house, and then to make matters worse, I bought the wrong size batteries and couldn't return them when I had no money from the dollar store. So again, I did what I had to do. I went a point where I had no water, so I couldn't even use my bathroom at home. It was just a total nightmare. And again, you do what you have to do, but you also learn from your mistakes, and I hope that you'll learn from mine and not go through the crap that I went through. Do not put yourself in this situation. Save your money. Live within your means. Don't try to impress your friends. Just because you have $30 doesn't mean you should spend $30. Maybe you need that $30 to go towards your electric bill. And again, one of your biggest sources of help is to look into your community centers that you have around you. Not like community center like fun recreational stuff, but there's normally like information centers for foreigners that can help you in any given city. And ultimately, it falls back on you. If you don't have money, you're going to have to try to find a way to leave the country, which means you're going to have to work with your family, work with the embassy, work with these centers to get yourself a cheap flight back home. And once you have yourself, well put together, you have your finances together, then and only then should you and or can you come back to Japan. Japan is not going anywhere, but you should be. So that's that. I'm sorry if this isn't what you were looking for, but I'm just being totally honest with you. If you don't have a job here, you need to make looking for a job your full-time job. You can easily, in the meantime, while you're waiting to get everything together, lower your prices for private lessons. Look at Craigslist, both in the education section and they have like a section for like retail jobs, etc. Customer service. Look at those three. You can easily find babysitting jobs, tutoring jobs, or some type of job at like an izakaya, ramen shop, whatever. Do what you have to do. The pay is low, but it's enough money to pay your bills, to pay a cheap rent, to put food in your stomach, etc. Do what you have to do. It doesn't matter, how little you're getting paid. Money is money. It's legal. And again, it's more than enough to buy yourself food. Take advantage of the free meals that your job offers. Generally, if you're working at a restaurant, you get free food from working there. Or if you're working at, some type of school, there's normally treats, snacks, etc. lying around. Let your boss know that you don't have money. They will more than likely be willing to give you a pay advance, even if it's not a really big one. They'll be able to give you enough to get by, especially if you explain your situation and let them know, like, look, I literally have nothing. I'm starving to death right now. So that's that. I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, useful, real, whatever. Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, watch some other videos on my channel, and I would really appreciate it if you would also follow me on Instagram. I have a Facebook, Twitter account, and a Snapchat as well. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.